Okay, we continue. Be'ezrat Hashem. We're in the middle of Pasuk Yud Aleph. Okay, so the Or HaChaim HaKadosh addressed the Hidush of the Rif and gave his own Pirush on the Rif. And he asked the Kushia that you asked also, that what? That we have a problem with Kol, right? The word Kol.
Yeah. Was it none or one?
וראיתי להרוש. Now,
ראיתי להריף? 40.
no, וראיתי להרוש. We did the Rif with 343.
340. Yes. I think we're
343.
I think we're okay.
We did the Rif.
Yeah.
Yes, that brings two different psukim.
וראיתי להרוש, yeah, וראיתי להרוש.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. וזה לשונו. So he brings the lashon of the Rosh. ואין נראה לי, לא כגרסת הריף. He says, the Rosh, he says, I don't like, not I don't like, but it doesn't
sit with me.
It doesn't sit with me, the גרסה of the Rif. כן? לא כגרסת הריף. אלא הנטרק ראה שמע השם לנוח. He says, according to the Rosh, the גרסה of the Rif is not correct. And according to him, it should be those two psukim. Hashem told Noach, ויאמר השם אל נוח לא אוסיף, ולא אוסיף. תדע דתלתה לווה כתיבה. Right? So according to him, he wants to go like Rashi, right? Like Rashi said, לא אוסיף, לא אוסיף, ולא אוסיף. תדע.
In the same sentence. He's saying it's the two in the same sentence.
מה? No, actually, no. Yes, the pasuk, the pasuk of Rashi, the original pasuk, לא אוסיף ולא אוסיף. Yeah, in the same pasuk.
Yeah.
דתלתה לווה כתיבה. There's three law that are written. לא יכרת, by us, ולא יהיה, in the same pasuk, and then ולא יהיה, כן, in pasuk ט"ו. וכן, בשלוש לה. כן? So if you want to tell me that this is for the Shvu'ah, then you're going to learn that you need 3 law to make a Shvu'ah, not 2. Right? Because it's all talking about the same thing. ואם מצרפת להו להבו 5, and if you're going to add now the 2 of לא אוסיף, plus the 3 of לא יכרת, לא יהיה ולא יהיה, right? So it's a total of 5. And now, and what you're going to tell me now, you need 5 times the law for a Shuvah to be. אלא ודאי דלא חשב. For sure that what? That they're not a counter. They don't count in the חשבון. אלא ויאמר השם אל ליבו, except for whatever Hashem told himself. לא הוסיף ולא הוסיף. ודומייה דעני דאמר זה אחר זה. Right? Especially that they were said immediately one after the other, and that's what makes the Shevu'ah. So basically, the Rosh, right, rejects the opinion of the Rif, and Bichlal rejects the Girsa of
everybody's
Agmara.
opinion.
Huh?
Right. He says that it's the same. It's both in sentence 15 and only. Right. He's trying to say that it.
Not in 15. In 15.
Yeah, he's saying the two that are in. They have to be in the same one after the other.
What?
He said two have to be after each other. Yeah. It's the
No,
two
he says,
statements.
no, that's what he says. He says, the first, this is what Hashem told to himself. And on top of that, it's consecutive, right?
Right. So he's saying
And
from
these
the
are
often
and
the
they're
from the
right,
four
so
pillars.
lo osif and velo osif. And they are the first time, right? So now what you gonna come and start telling me that from Sukkim later on? Okay?
Got it.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
So
clear.
basically, the Rosh reinforces through his analysis the 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 biur of Rashi, Rashi's Gersa, which is interesting because according to the Rosh also, like what is the Rosh basically telling us? I don't have this Gersa of the Gemara. Meaning the Gemara that the Rosh had also seems to be like it didn't sit well. Yeah, because we have a Gemara. The Gemara in Shuot
Right.
Lamed Vav says lo yikaret and lo yiyeh, right?
So he can
That's
contradict the Gemara?
so he
Not possible.
says no. He says once the Rif sees that says that there's another girsa, and Rashi says there's a girsa of lo osif. So he says, he says to me, says the Rosh to me, it seems like the girsa of Rashi is the most accurate one. It makes more sense. Yes, that this is what the girsa of the proper girsa of the Gemara.
Okay.
So that's the Hachaim Kadosh on the Rosh. ודבריו ז"ל רחוקים אצלי משמוע. Right? So the Hachaim Kadosh have a very hard time accepting what the Rosh is saying.
Right.
Why? כי השם דיבר אל ליבו כביכול. Hashem spoke to himself. אז בעריכו ריח הניחוח. Right? That's what he said after he smelled the
Well, he
incense,
spoke to himself.
the aroma that he smelled from the korban. ואחר כך דיבר השם את אשר חשב לטובה. Then after that he expressed himself, what he wanted to do good. והודיע לנוח מה חשבתו. And he told Noach what his thoughts.
Right.
Okay?
The issue that he has is
So
that
meaning the fact that he spoke to himself
doesn't
is
make it a
just a
shvua.
thought. It doesn't make it a shvua. It's only once he says it to Noach that it turns into a shvua. ומה מוכיח מפסוק? So he says, but you have לא הוסיף, לא הוסיף. מה מוכיח מפסוק לא הוסיף? Right? It says there's no הוכחה there. ועוד לא נאמרו שני הלווים בפרט אחד. Right? Now again, going back to the יסוד of the אור החיים הקדוש, they're not talking about the same subject. Right? One is talking about the people, and the other one is talking about the earth.
Land, yeah.
כמו שכתבתי במקומו, like we said there. So that already rejects the hochacha of lo osif velo osif. Then he says, okay, then just combine three of our pasuk, lo yikaret velo yeh velo yeh. ומה שטמא השם שלושה בצירוף, יהיו חמישה, right? So he says, now add the two to the three, that's five. מחילה מכבודו. He says, I apologize. כי שניים ראשונים כבר פירשנו ממשמעותה במקומו, right? So the first two are out of the count, because we already explained why they cannot be part of the חשבון. טעם שכפל השם הדברים. ואותם לא למדינן, מהם אפילו לאו אחד. So for the first two, there's not even one lav that is taken into account. מפני שהם דברים שאמר בדעתו אל ליבו כביכול, because he was speaking to himself. So it's not בכלל part of the חשבון, right? It's out of context. אם נשגיח ביסודי הדין, כן, הגם שהיו שני לווין בפרט אחד, אין למדים הם. Right? Even if you're going to tell me that that both
But they're the
talk
same
about the
subject.
same thing,
Right.
you still cannot learn from it. כי
Because
אמירה
it's in
בלב
ליבו.
אינה אמירה, right? דברים שבלב, there's a כלל in the גמרא, דברים שבלב אינם דברים. You understand? If you feel something, if you have a thought to do something, yes, then על פי דין, yes, you're not obligated to do it. כי אין נדר ושבועה אלא בביטוי שפתיים. Because the agdara, the definition of a shvuah or a neder, is something that you formulate verbally with your mouth, not just a thought. If the guy has an idea in his mind that he wants to be a nazir, that makes him a nazir. No, he has to say that he wants to become a nazir. Yes?
You could say that the difference, okay. But you can't apply the same to HaKadosh Baruch Hu necessarily.
בסדר, ברור, אבל
That's
לא, time out, time out, time out.
if Hakadosh Baruch Hu feels something in his heart,
דיבר על
or he's going
ליבו,
to feel
ודאי that he
something and
doesn't
not do
feel,
it.
time out, ודאי that he doesn't feel.
No,
Yes,
of
but that
course.
doesn't talk. But the Torah tells you that he spoke to his heart. Mashma that what? Yes, you have to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu follows the rules of the Torah in creation. Yes, but that he's when you talk about the absolute of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he can do whatever he wants, and whatever we say is completely irrelevant to his essence and his existence. But the moment HaKadosh Baruch Hu interacts with creation, yes, he put a system in place, and he follows that system also. He wants to follow that system.
Right.
So if that's the case, ma,
Yeah. The question is if it could be that Hashem has it. It's a little bit about what we learned before, because the separation of the will of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. You know, the question is if it says Belibo is not really like it would be davar chitzoni. We just studied this that Hakadosh Baruch Hu is one with his
his
I told
name.
him no one with his name, but no one with his I'm gonna remember in a second while we study this. That basically there's nothing chitzoni, right? There's no decision here that's from the outside, meaning that if it's in libo, it's in his essence. So how could there be a separation between? It, it, there's no separation between what he thinks or what he wants to. It's not an outside thing. I'm making it crazy while we study this. I'll remember. Okay, let's continue. I'll find this.
Yes, but when the Torah talks to you and tells you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu thought to himself, okay,
Mhm.
okay, it's in reference to us. Okay, so the same way when a person thinks to himself, it's not a shuvah. So too, yes, you have to apply the same laws of the Torah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu מקיים את כל התורה. HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself accomplishes the Torah. Yes, like for example, הוא מניח תפילין, מתעטף בטלית. Yes, הוא מתפלל. So the same,
Right.
you understand? So too, if he wants to make a shuvah, it has to be verbal. כביכול, he has to express himself outside. בסדר? ואין
Okay.
להוכיח אלא ממאמר השם, אשר אמר לנוח שהוא פסוק ולא ייכרת. So the only way you can learn, let's focus on this, you'll get back to it.
Yeah.
So says the Or HaKadosh, because it's back and forth here. The only way you can actually be mochiach, prove, yes, the law of Shevuah is when he actually, HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaks to Noach. And if that's the case, it's from the pasuk ולא ייכרת. ולזה לא הוכיח הש"ס, אלא מפסוק שאמר השם. That's why the ש"ס, the Gemara, Rava brings that pasuk itself. וכי מצטרפינן את הלווים הנאמרים, אינם אלא שניים. Right? And now, you can only be מצרף, only two פסוקים. כמו שישבנו למעלה, because one of them is not part of the subject, right?
Hmm.
כי מפסוק לא ייכרת, אין הוכחת שתי פעמים לאו. Right? We explained already that from the word lo yikaret, from the pasuk lo yikaret, you don't have, it's not talking about the same subject. If it's not talking about the same subject, then you cannot bring both of them as a love. אלא כוכך דברי הריף עיקר, או כגרסתנו, וכמו שפירשנוהו למעלה. So two things. Or you're going to say, you're going to take lo yikaret out of the חשבון, right? And then you have ולא יהיה of the rif, if if you want to learn like the Rif, or like he wants to say, like the or Hachaim Kadosh wants to say, is two biurim on the lo ikaret velo yihye based on the two deot, right, in Masechet
Of the
Sota,
Gemara.
the Gemara
Yeah.
is Masechet Sota, which basically follows the gersa that we have of Rava in Masechet Shavuot. Vehine. Back to the Gemara in Masechet Sota. Me'sugiyat Sota Gila Talmud Dato. Right? The Gemara reveals its idea. כי מסופק במי מבול, אם קראת השם עליהם ברית, לבל יבוא על חלק מהנבראים, right? He says that there was a doubt. There was a doubt. What was the doubt? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the neder, when he made the shuvah, that what happened? He's not going to destroy the all creation, right? And even one,
Or a single nation.
even a single nation. החליט עצמאות שהמבול לא נחלט, אלא בהבאתו על הנבראים. So the Gemara decides that no, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will never bring the Mabul on creation, right? אבל לא הבאת בעלי חיים into the Mabul, right? אלא כיבסוס פרעה, right? But you see that what? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring creatures, right? Living creatures into the waters.
Why? I don't know why he necessarily. Why do they necessarily say that Kriyat Yam Suf is a Mabul?
That's
We
the
didn't even talk
Gemara.
about that.
The Gemara is talking about this. That's the
Okay,
whole.
why?
That's the whole kushya of the Gemara.
No, right, but why is it no, hold on. He's saying
Paro said, okay, let's kill the new the Jews in the water, because God swore to never bring Mabul to the world, right? So the Gemara says, Tipesh Adam. Yes, you think that he's not going to bring the water onto the world? Yes, but he never said that he's not going to take a nation into the water.
he's not going to bring the world into the water, but that's okay. But it's a very loose explanation because
What's
the
loose?
Mabul, okay. Kriyat Yam Suf is very simple in the sense of
Okay,
right. It's not a Mabul. If you think about, forget
It's,
about what
it's not a
Gemara
question of
says.
it's not a question of Mabul. The question is the definition of destruction, mass destruction through water. That's the definition of Mabul.
Oh, okay. So that's the
That's what it
definition.
is. That's what it is. That's exactly the point. Yes. So that's what Paro says, right? What do you mean Mabul? He said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not do mass destruction through water. Okay. So let's use water to kill them.
Okay, so that's not that's not the Mabul as we understand it. But
That's
okay,
what
sure.
that's the definition of the Mabul.
Right.
Is mass destruction through water.
Okay, 1 second.
כשמבינים מסוגת סוטה, גילה התלמוד דעתו כי מסופק במי מבול, אם קראת השם עליהם ברית לבל יבוא על חלק מהנבראים, והחליט על מבול שהמבול לא נחלט, אלא בהבאתו על הנבראים, אבל לא הבאת בעלי חיים, right? So there was a ספק in the Gemara, and then the Gemara answers, והחליט התלמוד שהמבול לא נחלט אלא בהבאת על הנבראים, right? That there will not be, the Mabul will not be brought upon creation, but it doesn't mean that the creation cannot go into the waters, right? Water will not be used as a mass destruction that will be sent upon humanity or creation, but it doesn't mean that Kadosh Baruch Hu cannot bring the creation into the water for mass destruction. ונשאר לעמוד על הוכחת ברור הדבר. So what remains to be clarified is what? אם הברית הוא גם על שאר פורענויות, שלא יבואו להכרית כל בשר, או דווקא במי המבול הוא בנשמע. So
yes.
is the what? That it also includes all forms of destruction, mass destruction, okay? Or it's dafka through water. According to the Rif, that's not even a she'ela.
Right, the Rif says that it's all
because Eloi Karet goes on all of it. So that's why he has this question. He says because okay, by the way, the way I learn based on the Gemara, we don't learn. We have all the limudim that's perfect, but what do we do with the limud that the Rif has on Loi Karet? This we don't have. Right. So he wants to know now. That's the open. That's the loose nekuda. That is Mahaz, the only one that's almost left, right? So he says like this: "Ubemidrash Rabot." אמרו, מעניין that he calls it מדרש רבות. It's מדרש רבה.
מדרש רבה.
כן, he calls it רבות. כן. And this here, וזה לשונם. חלילה לך. Right? כן. It is chas v'shalom upon you, like it's profane for you to do such a thing, right? That's what Avram says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu regarding the destruction of Sodom. נשבעת ואמרת שאין
Mm.
אתה מביא מבול לעולם. אברהם tells הקדוש ברוך הוא, you promised and swore to never bring the מבול to the world. מה אתה מערים על השבועה מבול? אין אתה מביא. ושל אש אתה מביא. כן? So you swore to never bring destruction of what through water in the world. Okay? Could it
Right.
be that like you're out, you're outsmarting your own
System.
system
Yeah.
and saying, okay, but that's not what I said. My oath was on water, it was not on fire. On fire I can bring. And if that's the case, going back that was going back to your question originally. Yes, that if Mabul is water, mashma that how does that calm Noach, right? That's what you
Exactly.
asked last
Yeah.
shiur. Like how בסופו של דבר, okay, he's not bringing my bowl of water, but he can destroy with fire, it can be with COVID, like you said, right? אם כן, לא יצאת ידי השבועה. השופט לא יעשה. You're back to the same. How can a judge, right? And not do justice. You have to be just. אם אתה מבקש, אין דין. Right? So if you want the world, then you cannot use that din. ואם דין, אתה מבקש, and if you want judgment, then okay, then you give up on your world.
Conversation between Hakadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe
And
and
Avraham
and
Avinu,
Ram. Yeah, and
כן,
Ram. But where is
כן.
this recorded exactly?
In the Midrash. What the Midrash learns from the Masa Umatan between Avraham and HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay, but these are not sentences that are recorded anywhere
But again, I'm
in the Torah.
explaining you, that's what they learned from those sentences. Okay?
Okay.
That's the Ruach HaKodesh of the
Of the
Tanaim.
Rishonim.
Of the
Okay.
Tanaim. This is
Tanaim,
the
Tanaim.
Midrash, this is Tanaim.
Yeah.
עד
Okay.
כאן, עד כאן. אוקיי, רק שנייה. ואמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, אהבת צדק. כן? אמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, כן? You love צדק. What that mean what? You love to see the chesed in people. Yeah, you love to see the good in everybody.
Mm-hmm.
עד כאן. So let's analyze that midrash.
Yeah.
ממאמר זה מוכח, from this מאמר it is clear שעל כל פורענויות נשבע בין על של מים, בין על של האש. The fact that Abraham argues with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, משמע that what? That when he made the shvuah not to destroy, it has nothing to do with water. It's also ash. Okay? And you see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu agrees with him, but conceptually, he just tells him,
But
okay,
does he agree
there
with
has to
him,
be,
or
ודאי
does he
he agrees
adjust
with
the?
he just said that there's no 10 tzaddikim. But if there was 10 tzaddikim, then the Tana of Abraham is good. Okay? וכן מוכח מזבחים. And you have another proof from מסכת זבחים. שאמר להם בלעם, שלא יביא השם לא של מים ולא של אש. Yes, that's what. You see that Bilam also told Balak, okay, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu cannot bring destruction, not of water and not from and not fire neither. So what do you see? You see that even Bilam understood that the Shvuah was general. צריך לדעת מה כוחו של אברהם
That's also from
והטענה.
Gemara.
That's
Is
that's
also from the
the
Gemara.
that is from the Gemara.
Yeah,
Before
that's
that, it
also
was the Midrash. That's the Gemara in מסכת זבחים. It's another Gemara. כן?
okay.
וצריך לדעת מה כוחו של אברהם והטענה, אם כן לא יצאת ידי חובת השבועה. אם
That's
השם
what
לא
is.
נשבע, אלא על המים ולא על האש, שאביא של השבועה, כאמת. כן? So he says, so he has a question on Rashi, on the
Anan
Midrash,
Rashi.
on the
Oh, sure.
Midrash, on the Midrash.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says, you Avraham, you ask, like, what type of ta'ana is that? That if you bring mass destruction with fire, then you broke your oath. He says, that's not true. My oath was on water. It was not on fire. So what kind of ta'ana is that? Why, what makes the ta'ana of Avraham, okay, a good ta'ana? כן?
Yeah.
טוב. So it says like this. אכן, הכוונה היא, כלום שבועה שעשה. למה? כדי שיהיה העולם בטוח. Why did you swear?
Right.
That's your tana, that's your tana, right? Right. Why would you make a shua? To give security to humanity that they will, that you will not bring destruction, mass destruction back onto the world, right? So that they can be safe and they can go and reproduce. נכון? And that the
Mhm.
Hachaim Kadosh also said that, right? That Noah was scared that he's going to get out of the teva, and then there might be another mass destruction. So why bring kids? Kadosh Baruch Hu, don't worry. Yeah, lo osif, right? Again, all this tana, so that he can feel secure, and go and reproduce and feel batuach. גם הנבראים יפרו, הנה, גם הנבראים יפרו וירבו, לא יגאו לריק. And the humanity will reproduce because they know that they're not bringing children for nothing.
Yeah.
וזולת זה, and if you tell me that what? That there is no guarantee, yes, that you're not going to bring another mass destruction through another conduit, אז ילדו לבד על הבהלה. So it's all waste, right? Why bring children? If it's it's for nothing. ועוד, מה נחת רוח נעשה לעולם בשבועת מבול, אם יהיה כיליון בדבר אחר? What type of satisfaction and calmness, yes, does the שבועה brings to the world?
Mm.
If
That's good.
anyways
Yeah.
you can just... ואם כן, חובת השבועה פירוש דבר שהצריכו להישבע בשבילו, לא קיימו השם. Right? And if you tell me, if that's the case, then the whole purpose of the shvuah that Hashem had to make is in vain, right? You wanted Hashem, you wanted to accomplish something through your shvuah. You didn't accomplish nothing because the doubt is still there, the fear is still there, and okay, so it's not it's a shvuah in vain, lemaise, because you made a shvuah but nothing came out of it. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
That's the Tana of Avraham Avinu.
Yeah.
If your shvuah is a shvuah
Was it,
only on water,
what's
then
the purpose
that
then?
was the purpose of the shvuah. You didn't make that. Elamai, vaday, that is something else, right? And if it's something else, then why are you destroying Sodom with fire?
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
Chazak u'Baruch. We're going to put it in the book.
I don't know.
Okay? The Dvar
Well,
Michael
I
agreed
asked you that.
with Avraham Avinu.
I asked you that
I told you
the
this
other
is.
day.
I know that's besides that, but you asked, but it became relevant, okay, after the Rif brought this la halacha, okay.
Okay.
Okay. ודאי that it's a question, it's a some question, ודאי. Okay. But now that we've clarified everything, yes, the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh addresses it, and he brings reayot according, to support that. Basically, your question was the question of Avraham Avinu. Baruch tiyeh. You asked the question of Avraham Avinu, yeah, to Hashem. Okay. והוכיח אברהם את אבימלך על אודות הברית שישנה בין למבול, כן? Avraham told Avimelech about, yes, about the shvuah that regarded the Mabul, כן?
Yes. It's Avimelech is a Kadosh Baruch Hu, but I don't understand what he's trying to say here.
No, that his Tana was on he was on on the water, but also on the fire. Ben למבול, ben לאש. הגם שלא הזכיר אלא ממבול. So even though the Tana is the waters of the Mabul, sorry,
Let's see.
even though the words formulated, yes, are the Mea Mabul, אבל
Yeah.
ברור that's not what he means. He doesn't mean only the waters. He means, כן, it's like this, נשבעת ואמרת שאין אתה מביא מבול לעולם, right? So why? Because you said me'amabul. But that's Faday that the pasuk when it says me'amabul is not talking only about the me'amabul. וטעם שלא הוכיח אברהם מפסוק לא הוסיף. So now, דור החם הקדוש has another kushya. Okay? Now, על פי הסברה, he brought logic, yes, to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu that what? That the Shavua, that is not including every time of mass destruction, is pointless, right? But then he says, okay, why? טעם שלא הוכיח אברהם מפסוק לא הוסיף.
Right.
What's the
Yeah.
kushya? What's the kushya?
Says, why did you need them to say lo osif? If in
No.
the other one, yeah.
Why didn't Avraham say to Hashem, you said lo osif?
Because there's no he didn't mention fire water.
No. Because lo osif is general. Lo ikaret and lo yihye are specific to me'amabul. Lo
Right.
osif is general, right? Lo osif, let's see. In lo osif, he doesn't mention
Mavul.
mabul, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If in the lo osif he didn't
So that's
mention
the
the
no.
mavul, then maybe that's the other way around. It says that the
What do you mean?
shvuah was only on. Okay, if the shvuah was on everything, then why did you need the lo osif? Right?
The opposite. Lo osif is general.
No. But if no.
That's the
Yes. But what I'm saying is, if the shvuah was on everything,
yeah.
then you didn't need the lo osif because you already have everything covered in the first part.
No, that's exactly that's lo osif. That's lo osif. That's where it's covered. In lo osif, it's covered everything. Your shela is if everything is covered in lo osif, then why repeat it again of lo ikaret velo yeh b'mei mabul, right? Why do you come
Or
with a
vice,
perat?
or no. Okay, it's the same question because he's saying that the Meya
It's not the
Mabul.
same question.
Sorry, it is. It's from the other side because if he's saying the loikare, the Meya Mabul refers to all destruction. That's what
No.
Avraham Avinu is saying.
No. That's not time out.
Avraham Avinu's claim is
Time out.
yeah.
The Orach HaKadosh says, yes, that even though Avraham Avinu used the pasuk that talks specifically about the Mabul, that he was mochiach, based on his logic, that a shua that would be specific to only waters, yes, is pointless. So ask the Orach HaKadosh a question. Why did Avraham run to the pasuk where it says Mea Mabul and have to be mochiach logically that Mea Mabul does not mean specifically water? Go to
As
Lo
opposed
Osif, Lo Yosif. It's general. And then you
right.
can,
Okay,
that's the kushya.
it's an easier claim. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
כן? עוד שנייה.
וטעם שלא הוכיח אברהם, בפסוק להוסיף.
וטעם שלא הוכיח אברהם מפסוק לא הוסיף, כי שם לא נאמר שבועה. Because there, and that's the Orach HaKadosh לשיטתו, that לא הוסיף להוסיף is not a שבועה. So what do you bring me all over? Okay, so בסדר, but there is no, it has nothing to do with שבועה, so you cannot bring me להוסיף. Right? So you have to bring me pesukim of the Shua, which is lo yikaret velo yeh velo yeh. Right? And there, then you're stuck to Me'amabul. He says, Ukemo sheochachnu befiroshenu, efer divrei harosh. Right? So we already explained like that we don't agree with Rosh. וגם לדברי הראש, now according to the Rosh, yeah, you can ask that question. Because according to the Rosh, lo osif is the where you learn, right? You're with me?
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
It's too early?
No, go ahead.
According
Just
to the
finish the
Rosh,
idea.
to the Rosh, where does the Rosh learn the Shevuah? Lo
Yeah,
osif
from the
velo
first two
osif.
sentences. Yeah, it's first two
Lo osif
sentences.
velo osif. So
Right.
now, the Kushya that the Or Chaim HaKadosh had on the Midrash, yes, according to the Shita of the Rosh, it works. because לא הוסיף ולא הוסיף is שבועה. So if לא הוסיף ולא הוסיף is שבועה, and is talking about the כלל,
In
then why
general,
didn't
yeah.
Avraham go
Go
there?
to that
To that
sentence.
pasuk?
Exactly.
Okay. So he says, וגם לדברי הראש יש לתת טעם. According to the Rosh, I'm going to explain to you why, even according to the Rosh, Rashi, Avram did not use that pasuk, כי גם שם נאמר כאשר עשיתי. Because the pasuk says כאשר עשיתי, ונכנס בכף הדימוי עם המים. Right? So the fact that it says כאשר עשיתי, so in the half of כאשר, משמע that what? Exactly like I did. And what did I do? I used water, right?
But I thought, oh, and then you explained that the Kasher
I
city was a full
I
destruction.
know, but again,
Yeah.
I'm explaining you what he says. He says, oh, if I says the Ruach HaKodesh like this, if I exclude my
So
pirush
if you follow the
and
Rosh, then it
forget
has
about
to.
what I said,
Okay.
but you follow the Rosh, lechaora, I can ask this kushia of the Midrash on the Rosh. Forget about me, the Ruach HaKodesh says. Forget about everything I taught you. If you read the Rosh, yes,
Yeah.
can you ask the question on the Midrash? Based on the Rosh. You can ask the question on the Midrash. Why didn't Avraham go to Losif? Losif, that's the Shvuah and it's a clan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
so the Rosh will answer him according to his opinion. He will answer Kasher because it's Kasher. Forget about what the Rachem HaKadosh holds of Kasher.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
אלא
Okay.
קשה. There's another קושייה. בדברי אברהם. Now here's a קושייה on the words of what Abraham said. הלא השבועה הייתה לכל. The שבועה was what? On all creation. ולא על חלק מהעולם. And not only on a portion, right?
Mm-hmm.
ואפילו למה שפירשנו, שגם על חלק הייתה השבועה, זה דווקא בימי המבול. אבל בשאר פורענויות לא מצינו רמז לה.
Mm.
מה הקושייה?
But where does he come with this? This is a new claim that it's only that no, because he's
let's
saying
go,
that
let's go, let's go back to the Midrash. Let's go back to the Midrash.
right.
חלילה לך, נשבעת ואמרת שאין אתה מביא מבול לעולם. מה
Right.
אתה מערים על השבועה? מבול אין אתה מביא, ושל אש אתה מביא. אם כן לא יצאת ידי השבועה, והשופט לא יעשה עוולה בעולם. אם העולם אתה מבקש, right? אין דין. ואם דין אתה מבקש, אין עולם.
Right.
Okay.
So the point is that I guess if you could destruct part of the world, that doesn't preclude people from having children, because the idea is that you don't get capital punishment for everybody. I guess that's probably the claim here. No.
Yeah, but that's not, no, his question is on the klal and the prat.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The reason that it probably works if it's part of the humanity, because if Abraham's whole concept is that you shouldn't, there's no purpose of a shvuah if it's only flood, is that then people
No,
would
meaning like the
most.
flood, I can understand that it's on everybody and on the prat. But when it comes to other ways of destruction, the shvuah is on the klal, but not on the prat. So what Avram is asking,
Oh,
you understand? I can understand that with all the drashot that we've made.
yeah,
Yes. What do we learn? We learn that it not only that Kadosh Baruch Hu will bring mass destruction of water flood on the world, but he also will not bring mass destruction of water on the prat. Right? That's what we
okay,
learn.
yeah,
Whatever, either opinion in Maseret Sota. At the end, right? There will not be any mass destruction. Yes,
through water,
through water.
not on the cloud, not on the pot. Oh
But that's not true because he
no,
did bring he didn't
on
bring
the mitzvah.
המצרי.
No,
So
but
according to the first opinion,
no,
they
but
said
it's
the
but they no,
Mabul,
but they said but the mitzvah is it's not a flood
is that
because
they
they're
brought
coming in, not
themselves.
coming out. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. So that's the klal and the prat. But that's only, says the Ruach HaKadosh, that's only for water. The
Right.
mass destruction of water. Other type of mass destruction, says the Ruach HaKadosh, I have a shvuah for the klal. That he's not going to use fire to destroy the entire world. But where do
Okay.
you know? Where do you say he's not going to use fire to destroy a nation? That you don't have.
Well, clearly he destroyed Sodom.
His question is on Avraham Avinu. You, Avraham Avinu, that you're a grace Gaon and you know all the Torah Kula. How can you come with a Ta'ana to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't use fire to destroy a nation, Sodom? You already told us that there's a Shuvah not to use. You're
Right.
not
So
going to do mass
you're saying
destruction.
Abraham's question alludes to the fact that there's no destruction of the prat, also for non-water related
Exactly,
disasters.
exactly. And
Okay.
he says, that's a kush, that's kashe, because we haven't found this anywhere. הנה,
Okay.
עוד פעם, אלא קשה בדברי אברהם. הלא השבועה הייתה על הכל, right? דהיינו, the
Yeah.
שבועה of not mass destruction outside of water. ולא על חלק מהעולם. But when it came to a חלק מהעולם, because ברוך הוא never swore to bring another way of destruction on הפרט. ואפילו למה שפירשנו, ואפילו למה שפירשנו שגם חלק הייתה שבועה, according to what we, even according to what we said, that there was a שבועה not only on the כלל, but also on the פרט, זה דווקא בימי המבול. That's דווקא with flood, with water. אבל בשאר פורענויות, but we bring other ways of mass destruction, right? לא מתינו רמז לה. There's no ראיה.
Right.
ולפי מה שפירשנו טעם אברהם שאינו מחלק בין המים לאש, and according to Avraham, right, when he brings his ta'ana, he doesn't make a difference between water and fire, אינו צודק. אלא בכיליון הכל. That's only relevant if you tell me for mass destruction of everything. אבל בפרט אחד, but to come and destroy one nation, יש אלוקים שופטים בארץ, right? הקדוש ברוך הוא is doing צדק. He's doing his justice. So, כן?
Okay.
So he brings a very strong kushia
On
on the
Avraham.
midrash, on the midrash.
Yeah. Okay.
עוד רועני, and I see also, כי הודה הקדוש ברוך הוא לטענת אברהם ולא עמד בה. I see that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu agrees with Avraham. And Avraham, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't reject the Ta'ana. He agrees with it. שהרי המטיר אש, ויהפוך. ואם השבועה נתקיימה גם על המקצת ואפילו באש, למעשה מהשם לסדום, מה שעשה, right? And yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu did bring a fire on Sodom and did destroy. So there's a problem. So yeah, למה השם עשה? בסדום מה שעשה, right? On one hand,
That
on
means the
one
Shvuah was that
on,
means the Shvuah was not
listen,
done.
on one
Yeah.
end you agree with Abraham, yes. On the other, you do bring use fire as mass destruction for the prat, right? You understand? Based on the kushia that the Or HaKadosh has on Avraham Avinu,
Oh. Oh yeah. He's
is
saying Avraham.
muchach that Avraham held that he learned that Be'er Mabul is also on mass destruction that is not water on the prat. That's also part of the shvuah. That
But
he won't.
according to this, he's saying
So there's a
the
stira.
Kadosh Baruch Hu, that Kadosh Baruch Hu went against the Shvuah.
Exactly. Exactly. So he says those are the two. He has those questions. I just want to show you. Time out. Time out. I just want to show you how you learn a midrash.
Yeah.
You understand? This
Hmm.
is how in Morocco they learn the Gemara. That's how they learn the midrash. They didn't just read. You understand the people here? How he brings
Yes.
you all these Gemarot and all these the Rashi and Rosh and Rif. You understand? All this for what? Like, to understand what the midrash says.
Hmm.
אכן, אכן.
Yeah.
אמיתו דברי רבותינו ז"ל. Now, he wants the
No,
way
wait,
to
hold on.
learn, חכמים.
Wait, Hashvan, can we go? Wait,
לא, זהו.
1 second, please.
מה?
1 second. No, okay, you didn't read that last sentence. What is it?
I did.
ואם השבועה נתקיימה גם עם המקצת ואפילו באש,
למה עשה
למה
השם
עשה
בסדום
אדוני
מה שעשה?
בסדום? מה שעשה,
I said, we
okay.
said that.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes?
אכן, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's no answers to this kushiyot. According to the biur that the way he explained the midrash,
There's
yes,
no explanation to what? To
there's no
this kushia?
answers. There's no answers to the kushiyot he asked. Okay, therefore he has to now give another pshat on the entire midrash. לכן
Okay.
אמיתות דברי רבותינו ז"ל הוא על זה הדרך. כי אברהם טען טענת חוכמה. Says Or HaMelech Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Tana of Avraham was a very shrewd and smart Tana, כן? A strong argument. והיא, כי מה הטעם, and what is it? What's the reason נשבע השם מהביא מבול לעולם? What was the reason that Hashem swore not to bring מבול לעולם? ממה נפשך? אם הנבראים אינם חייבים פשיטה שלא יעוור אל משפט. Like, what's the point of this shvua? If the humanity is not chayav, then for sure HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to bring the mabul, right? אלא שהגם שהתחייבו לכלותם, כמו שנתחייבו דור המבול. So when is the shvua relevant? Only
Yes.
if they sinned like the mabul, and now you have to bring the mabul. אף על פי כן יכבוש השם את הדין, ולא יעשה משפט מוות, right? נכון? So if the humanity behave like the Dor HaMabul and they're mechuyavei mita kliya like the Mabul, in that very specific situation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu now you will use the oath to hold his anger and not to destroy the world. Zoi kavanat HaShvuah, right? That's the purpose of the Shvuah. Yes or no?
Yes.
הלמדת, so what do we learn from here? שכוונתך שלא תעמיד המשפט על תילו. That means that the pshat of the shua is not to use the justice system to its full extent. ואם כן, גם במה שלפנינו, לא יעמיד השם המשפט כפי המחייב. כן? So if that's the case, even what's in front of me, ואם כן, גם במה שלפנינו, לא יעמיד השם המשפט כפי המתחייב, ואבקש רחמים כמו שביקש. Right? So if that's the case, now, everybody, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to use full
Justice, yeah.
full justice, then every time there's a situation where HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to bring judgment, I'm going to pray, ask for Rachamim, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will lighten the
Punishment.
the punishment. Okay? That's what Avraham tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu. נכון? You Hashem, you made a shvuah for what purpose? So that you don't impose full justice. Right? So I'm telling you now also, I'm coming to you. Don't apply the full justice. I'm asking you for rachamim.
Right.
You understand the logic of Avraham? It has nothing to do with the technical nuances of memabul or mebabul. Says the Raham HaKadosh, Avraham came from a complete different angle. He says, "You Hashem, yes, what you swore. Why did you swear? Ultimately, you swore so that you don't use the full force of justice.
Right.
Yes or no?
So nothing to do with the Mabul or the Prat or the Klal.
No.
It's an idea.
It's an idea. So says Avraham Avinu. So I'm asking you now. Okay, I'm pleading for Rachamim. I'm asking you not to use your thing. What's the difference? If at the end you already accepted that you will not use your full justice. נכון? So don't use your full justice for them also.
Okay.
ואם כוונתך בשבועת המבול דווקא בפרט זה של מים, אבל של אש לא, right? And if you're going to tell me that that when you decided not to be lenient is only regarding, yes, the pratim of the mabul, which is water and not ash, והעמדת קו הדין ישנה בלא מגרעת, כן? כן? Now, what are you going to tell me? No, I never said that I don't want to be, that I want to be lenient. What I said is that I will make sure that if the people are supposed to get mass destruction, and I decide that it's through water on that for that specific event, I'm going to be lenient. But for the rest, I'm not going to be lenient. And therefore, what? Therefore, my justice system stays fully, yes, in place.
Right.
ואם
Mm-hmm.
כן, כאן גם כן תעמיד המשפט ואין מקום לתפילתי. So if that's the case, right? So now what? My tefillah is irrelevant and your justice is full, is in for him. So he says, חלילה לך. He says, you cannot do that. Yes? why? להערים וכולי. כמו שפירשנו למעלה. כי הנבראים ששמעו השבועה, סברתם היא שלא תעמיד משפטי הדין עד הסוף. So now what happens? You know why you did it. But the people, when they heard you, that's not how they understood it. To them, yes, it was a general rule. וזה הערמה חס ושלום. So you're confusing, you fold the humanity with nuances of words.
Mm-hmm.
That's הערמה.
So he's saying, sorry. So he's saying that people
וכולי.
understand it how that it's
It's general.
all
It's
destruct. It's
general.
general, but you meant specifically
Uh,
on water
And
and
if you're going to tell me, no, it's something like this, it should be general. And if you're going to tell me, if Avram continues
it's
himself, and if
specific,
you're going
right?
to tell me that it's specific, then it's harama.
Yeah,
You fold humanity.
got it,
וחולין היא לא
got it.
להערים הבריות. And it's whole, it's אסור, right? It's a disgrace. It's deceitful for you, Hashem, yes, to 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 fool humanity like this. שהם יבינו דבר, והוא יכוון באופן אחר, right? That you say it in a way that humanity will understand something, but you really mean something else. You know, like,
Yeah, yeah. I got
זה
it. I got it. I got
דבר
it. Okay.
שבכל יום. So the Rahman Kadosh changes completely the Masa Umatan, right? He shifts from technicalities to a whole a philosophical debate. ותמצא שסיים המאמר בדברי אברהם, וזה לשונו. If you look
Mm.
at the Midrash, you will see that the Midrash at the end finishes with the דברי אברהם. אם עולם אתה מבקש, אין דין, ואם דין אתה מבקש, אין עולם. Right? That's how the Midrash ends.
Mm.
את לתבטר, if you're not מוותר, צבחת let alma yachel לקיים. If you're not going to let go of your anger, yes, and your judgment, the world will not be able to be מתקיים.
Okay.
עד כאן. הרי שכוונת אברהם היא להוכיח כי אין הכרח שיעשה המשפט בשלמות. Right? You see that in the lashon of the midrash is what? If you're not mevater. That's the key word that opened the eyes of the Orach HaKadosh. Why do you use the word mevater? מה זה קשור לוויתור here? אלא מאי? אלא מאי? The whole inyan of Shavua is to introduce a concept of vitur, right? So if you're not going to be mevater, then אין העולם יכול להתקיים.
So he's saying the Shua is the Vitur.
No, the Shvua, yes. The Shvua introduced the concept of Vitur. What is Vitur? When it's mevater on the Dora Mabul, like the people that I behave like the Dora Mabul. So if you're already mevater, tevater. הרי שכוונת אברהם היא להוכיח כי אין הכרח שיעשה המשפט בשלמות. Right? So that's the טענה. There's no reason for you to do the משפט עד הסוף. והודה לו הקדוש ברוך הוא על הדבר. הקדוש ברוך הוא באמת agrees, because he doesn't, you see that he doesn't, reject the טענה. ונכנס אברהם וביקש שיעשה למען הצדיקים ולא יאבד הרשעים עמהם. So now the whole משא ומתן starts. Do it for the tzadikim, right? Even though and the tzadikim should not be destroyed just because you have רשעים. והיא צבחר מהדין, right? And that's how that's how you're more lenient on the din. ונתרצה השם על הדבר. הקדוש ברוך הוא agreed and and accepted what Avraham said. אלא מה? כשלא מצא צד להטות משפט, נחתם עליהם לאבדם. And when he saw that the minimum, right, that was needed in order for leniency and favor to be applied upon Sodom was not there, then he had to bring the din. ואין פרט זה נכלל בשבועת השם. And that's for sure not part of the shua, because there has to be a certain level of justice. It's just that there's a part, a minimum that has to be, that needs to happen for the relative.
So the answer here is that basically the there is no shvua on destruction of the prat other than by water.
one second. והמטיר על הרשעים אש וגפרית, ואת זה ראו המצרים וחשבו כי באש השע להתחכם, שלא יבואו במשפט האש להיותם פירת בעולם. זה לא. ראו המצרים וחשבו כי באש השע להתחכם, שלא יבואו במשפט האש להיותם פירת בעולם. רק שנייה. Because he
How did
introduces something.
Mitzrayim come here?
רק שנייה. Exactly, one second. You just, 1 second.
What
Tell us
I
here.
understand up
Yes.
to this conclusion is that
Yes.
basically there is a shvua. The conclusion is even by Abraham, there's a shvua that doesn't cover the prat on anything but it's only covered prat. So water is prat and klal. Everything else is only klal and not prat. He could destroy by fire the prat, but not the klal. That's right. That's the conclusion. That's how he did stone, of course.
No.
What do you know? How did he do stone?
Because for different reason. Because if there was Asarat Tzadikim, yes. Are you saying mitzad? No. 1 second. What are you saying?
No.
You're saying 1 second. Tamar. What you're
There's
saying?
no shvua.
1 second.
There's no shvua.
You're saying what you're saying. No. You're saying like this. You're saying from here I learn. Okay, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring fire on Sodom? He could have brought water, right? Why?
He couldn't.
Why can't you? Because you have the shvua of the prat. Even at that level of Asarat Tzadikim, right? The shvua of the prat is applicable. That's why he had to bring the fire, yes. And fire, there is no shvua on the prat, but 1 second.
There's no
shvua.
Finito.
1 second. There's no shvua on the prat.
That's why it needed. Why it needed the negotiation.
Why?
That's
that's not true. There's no negotiation.
Because if there's no shvua,
you're right. You're wrong.
If there's no shvua,
then there's no negotiation.
Right. If there's no shvua, it's not right.
There is also shvua. It's just that the shvua, okay, has a limit.
No.
There is a shvua. Yes.
No, there's no shvua on the prat.
There is a shvua on the prat. There is a shvua on the prat, but there is a limit to that shvua.
Because then you can't negotiate.
Yes, you can.
According
That's
to what
exactly
he's
the
saying,
point.
that if there's
exactly
a shvua,
that's exactly the point. Because there's a shvua, you can negotiate. That's exactly the point.
So what's the shvua word?
Huh?
So,
but the shvua is the limit.
No. I think we got confused. No, I think I'm right on this one. If there's a shvua not to destroy the prat with fire, okay, with everything, okay, then whatever happened, HaKadosh Baruch Hu couldn't destroy Sodom with the fire, but he did destroy it. If he did destroy it, it means there's no shvua.
So he answers you. But that wakes another question. There's a question in what you're saying. That the Hachaim Kadosh tells you there is the prat, even if there is a shuvah, but there's a limit. There has to be also justice. You cannot say there's no justice and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is lenient forever with everybody and everything. So what is the minimum? The minimum is Asarat Tzadikim. If you have Asarat Tzadikim, yes, Nachon Inachelami. But if there's no Asarat Tzadikim, yes, then you can bring destruction. You can bring destruction. Now the sheila is why didn't he bring water if that's the case? So what's the difference between memabul of water and destruction of?
So according to this, you understand that the shvua is on the prat and the klal, even on fire.
Again. Look at what he says. Okay. Look at it. אכן אמיתות דברי רבותינו ז"ל. Let's go back. Back to 348. אכן אמיתות. Let's go back to his Tana. כי אברהם טען טענת חוכמה. והיא, כי מה טעם נשבע השם מהווים מבול לעולם? ממה נפשך? אם הנבראים אינם חייבים פשיטה, שלא יעוול עליהם אל המשפט, right? זה פשוט. אלא שהגם שהתחייבו לכלותם, כמו שהתחייבו תור המבול. אבל על פי כן, יכבוש השם את הדין ולא יעשה משפט מוות, right? זוהי כוונת השבועה. על המטה שכוונתך שלא תעמיד המשפט על תילו. ואם כן, מה, כן, אם כן, גם במה שלפנינו לא יעמיד השם במשפט. ואבקש רחמים, right? That's the טענה. Now, he's not touching now, water, fire, it's all included. You agree? It's all included. Because he's saying the kavana of the shvuah has nothing to do now with water or COVID. It has to do with what the vitur. It has to do with vitur. ואם כוונתך, so says אברהם to הקדוש ברוך הוא, if you're going to tell me that what, שכוונתך, שבשבועת המבול דווקא בפחת זה של מים, אבל של אש לא, if you're going to tell me that's the case, העמדת כבדים ישנה, ואם כן כאן, גם כן תעמיד המשפט באמת. חלילה לך להרים. Right? You're marrying, so you fooled everybody. Because everybody understood that what? It includes also ash. Yes?
Right.
And
Right.
now you're telling me it's not including ash. But how can you do that? חלילה לך, you're going to do the חולין. So Avraham corners כביכול הקדוש ברוך הוא to tell
Right.
what? That there is שבועה.
That is true on everything,
On
not only
everything.
on mine.
Not only on mine.
Prat and klal on everything.
That's right. And that's what there's negotiation. Now, if that's the case, then why HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually does it? Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu does it? Okay? He does it because he answers, because there's a threshold that you cannot, there's a minimum you cannot cross. Right? And it's what? It's that you need at least Asarat Tzadikim.
Okay.
Now, another question arises that is inside what you're
No,
saying.
I'll ask you then. Well, hold on. Then if there's an us, oh, that's a different step with nation. Okay, whatever.
Then the question is, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to use fire, use water? Okay, what are you telling me? You're telling me that if there's no Asarat Tzadikim and Sodom was at such a wicked place that Lema'aseh, you can destroy them. Okay, why don't you destroy them with water?
Right.
זה שאלה. זה שאלה.
Okay.
אני לא יודע. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Let's finish Dor HaMakadosh. Let's see what he says, because then he says something. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu agrees with his Tana, right? And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes into משא ומתן, הוא ביקש יעשה למען הצדיקים, ולא יאבד הרשעים עמהם. So he's saying, look, save the tzaddikim, and by saving the tzaddikim, now the רשעים are also included with the tzaddikim. וזה יצבחר מהדין. Right? That's how he bypasses the din. It's that through the tzaddikim, now the Reshaim are saved. So that's how he's mevater. שלא מצא צעד להטות משפט. When he saw that he cannot twist the משפט, right? He cannot.
According to what he says here, that the individual nation was not technically covered by Hashem's oath. Okay. So according if you read,
but that it wasn't. We know that it wasn't.
They're saying that there's no
Where are you?
shvuah. There's no shvuah ve'en prat zenichal b'shvuat Hashem.
Where are you?
I am ואין פרט, אולי אם תרצה, שלא מצא להטות משלום, ואין פרט זה נכלל
No, just one second, I'm not.
והורה לו הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You went too far, I don't know, I'm not there yet, hold on. אוקיי. וכשלא מצא צד להטות משפט, נחתם עליהם לאבדם. ואין פרט זה ואין פרט זה נכלל בשבועת השם. איזה פרט?
I'm just reading the English. It says there, for this specific situation of an individual nation being destroyed by fire was not technically covered by Hashem's oath, and he therefore proceeded to rain the sulfur upon the wicked. So, what according to this, I don't understand where this is going. That's what I said before.
What did
That
you
there
say?
is no shvuah. According to Avraham, there is no shvuah on an individual nation.
No, that's the answer of, no, again, that's the answer at the end that Hashem gives to, okay. No, you're funny. You have to understand, you have to separate between the Tana of Avraham Avinu and the answer of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
The Tana is clear?
Yes.
That what? That you have to include Esh. And it's Lav Dav Kamaim, right? That's for sure. And the whole purpose of the Shvuah is to be lenient.
But
So
but
apply
I
that
don't know
lenience.
why it would be. I understand why it would be on the klal. I don't agree with the fact that it should be on the prat. Why would the leniency have to be on the prat? There's a reason why it should be on the klal, right? Because then, if the whole idea, Isa Olam lo mitkayem, that means the entire universe. It doesn't say Olam, the prat doesn't mitkayem. Abraham's claim was that the God, right? The finish of the sentence was he said there, I forgot what it was, but he basically says that the last pasuk of Abraham, right? The Midrash, where is it? What is where's the last pasuk of Abraham?
Mm.
Here. He says, "Avatzali, Abraham, God has come about wood." Where's the thing that he says that this is the sentence that Abraham finished with?
349. בדבריו, וזה לשונו, in the middle.
אם עולם אתה מבקש אין דין, ואין דין כאין עולם. He doesn't say prat. So he talks about the olam as a whole, right? If you do din, the understanding I read it is if you do din on the whole olam, then there's no olam, right? But it doesn't refer to the prat,
Yes, but
right?
again, Abraham doesn't go into that detail. All he says, Abraham tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you need to be lenient. If you be lenient, let's push leniency all the way. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers, you're right. I'm willing to push leniency, but there's limits. There's limits. What are the limits? Okay, one limit is the Hasarat Tzadikim by Sodom, and says the Orach HaKadosh, and another limit is that I can use fire or other ways of mass destruction on the Prat. That's another limit, and that's the answer that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Abraham. That's not, however, that's not a hidush in the pasuk. You understand? That's Kiviyachol Hakadosh Baruch Hu came and told Abraham, "This is this is what you have to learn from the pasuk." But Abraham didn't understand that because Abraham entered the argument from a complete different angle. He came from an angle of leniency. Hakadosh Baruch Hu told him, "I'm willing to be lenient, but it has to be based on parameters." Yes, and what are the parameters? One of the parameters is that you should know that I'll be lenient. Yes, but with limits. And what are those limits? The limit is that once a people has mechuyav destruction, I will use another way of mass destruction. Yes, upon a prat. That's a limit.
But that's meaningless. Who cares how you die?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Because what does it matter how you destruct? Destruction is destruction. Who cares if it's by fire, COVID, or
No, because
water?
by the water we know we have a bit. Because by water we have for sure a prat. That's the drashot that we had. By water, we have a shvuah in the klal and in the prat.
I got it.
So
According
you
to
cannot
this, it says that there
use
is
water.
no.
So you cannot use water.
Right. According to this, there's no shvuah of the pot.
That's right.
There's
For
no shvuah on the
another
pot for another.
in a different way of mass destruction than water.
Correct. So then you need the leniency because there's no shvuah.
What?
That's why you need the
No,
leniency because
no,
if there's
no.
a
There,
shvuah, you
there's
don't need
no
leniency.
leniency. There's no leniency.
No, on the opposite. Mechila. If there's a shvuah, you don't need the leniency. If there's a shvuah, there's no need of leniency.
No, because you
If
don't.
Hakadosh Baruch Hu
No,
says, "I will not destroy the pot," so what's the leniency that you need? He said already, you
that's
can
the
do whatever you
answer.
want.
But you see that there's no. You see again.
Forget about the
Okay,
answer, just the
continue.
concept. The
Yes,
concept.
yes.
If there's a shvuah that I will not destroy the pot by fire,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't matter. You do what you do, Sdom, this, 10 tzaddikim. Bottom line is, I will not destroy the pot. I will not destroy the nation. If there was a shvuah, he couldn't destroy Sdom. You agree with that? If there's a shvuah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could not destroy Sdom. It's black and white. Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't go against the shvuah? Is that yes, no?
If it's a shvuah de prat.
Right. So if there's a shvuah in the pot, there wouldn't be a Sdom. Right? There would not be a destruction of Sdom.
Yeah. This Avram
Okay.
didn't know.
Well, wait again. If there's a
That's why he
shvuah,
negotiated.
wait. If there's a shvuah, no,
Yes.
no. He negotiated because there was no shvuah on the plot. You can only
You,
negotiate if there's
you
no
cannot
shvuah.
negotiate. There's not.
No, no, Mechila. No, no. If there's a shvuah, there's nothing to negotiate. You already know that he's not going to kill them, right? If there's no shvuah, then Hakadosh Baruch Hu is it's open for business. Either I destruct them, I don't destruct, I do whatever I want. That's why you need to pray and to negotiate.
So what is the answer?
The answer is that there was no shvuah on the
Yeah.
pot.
And therefore,
Because of that, Avraham
uh,
Avinu negotiated.
yeah. No. What's the
Because
answer? So why did
Rega,
Hakadosh Baruch Hu? Yeah.
if there because what? Okay, it's a totally different story. There
No.
was no shvuah. Rega,
No.
Rega.
You're using
There's
the
no
answer that
shvuah.
Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives to to Avraham in Noah's in Avraham's argument.
There is no shvuah.
Okay. There's no
There's no
shvuah.
question. Avraham Avinu couldn't. If Avraham Avinu thought there's a shvuah on the pot, then he wouldn't negotiate because if Hakadosh Baruch Hu had the shvuah, he didn't need to negotiate. There would never be a destruction. You agree with that? If there was a shvuah, there couldn't be Sdom. Take this whole thing out. I'm just asking a question. If there's a shvuah on the pot, he could not destroy Sdom. Is that correct?
Destroy nothing.
Right? He couldn't destroy. Okay. So why would Avraham Avinu need to even negotiate for Sdom? Because he already knew that he wouldn't destroy them. The only reason Avraham Avinu negotiated Sdom is because he knew that there was no shvuah on the pot. That's why he tried to give reasons why not to destruct, because he knew that the destruction would come, because there's no guarantee that he's not going to destruct. That's why he negotiated. Now, what happened is he lost the negotiation because there was not even 10 tzaddikim. But that's a different story. That the only reason he needed to negotiate was because there was no guarantee, right? There was no shvuah. If there was shvuah, he wouldn't need to negotiate. He knew that they're saved anyway. So he needed to find a reason to save them because there was no shvuah.
אבל זה לא מה שכתוב.
מה זה כתוב? Look,
זה לא כתוב.
okay, I'm reading the English translation. ונכנס אברהם, look. One second. You see that Avraham intended to show that there was no reason for Hashem. Full. The fact that it says here, look, let's go to the back. Okay. Creation who heard the oath, surely. Okay, I'm going to read the English. For the creation who heard the oath, surely, I'm like, Ken Yivraim Sheshamu at the top of 249. Let's read the English. For the creation who heard the oath, surely assumed that they were taking an oath not to administer justice in a strict form, and would therefore be deceitful, heaven forbid, to act otherwise. And it is profane for you, Hashem, to act decisively with the creation, right?
What?
So that they're to understand the word one way, but he means something else, right? Don't deceive them. Now, if you look at the Midrash, you will find that the teaching of the sages concludes with the Avraham words, right? If you want the world to endure, there can be no strict justice. And if you want the administration of strict justice, there's no possible for the world to endure. If you do not forego a little bit from the demand of strict justice, the world cannot endure. The quote of the Midrash ends here. You see then that Avraham intended to show that there was no reason that Hashem should have to carry out the dictates of strict justice in full. To the contrary, right? The oath of the flood included a commitment to judge with mercy. Okay, that's what they're saying. And the Holy One, blessed he, indeed agreed with this judgment, with this argument, that strict justice should not be applied when there are valid grounds for mercy. Avraham then entered a discussion with Hashem over Sodom and asked Hashem to act mercifully on behalf of the righteous people of Sodom and refrain from destroying even the wicked among them and the merit of the righteous. This was the small deviation from the strict justice that Avraham had requested, and Hashem agreed. Okay. But when Hashem could not find any grounds to tilt the judgment away from the justice, okay, the Sodomite faith was destruction. Okay. For this specific situation of an individual nation being destroyed by fire was not technically covered by Hashem's oath. Exactly.
That's the answer. Not
Wait.
what. That's not what. That was not the
That's the
argument
conclusion.
of Avraham. That's exactly. That's the
Wait,
hidush.
and he therefore proceeds to rain fire and solve upon the wicked.
Nachon.
But
That's
not
the hidush. That's the hidush of Hakadosh Baruch Hu to Avraham. That was not the argument of Avraham. That's exactly the hidush. That's what I'm telling you. That's what.
No, but forget about chidush and chidush. The
Yes.
no, I don't. No, it can't be. It can't be.
It can.
Avraham Avinu couldn't argue with Hakadosh
Read
Baruch Hu
again.
about
Read
Sodom.
again.
He couldn't argue about
He
Sodom.
can. He can.
Of course he
He
can.
tells him. He
Against
tells him like
Shua?
this.
Is he telling Hakadosh Baruch Hu, okay, to go against his Shua?
He says, "Mimay nafshach." If you made a shvua, right? Why would you kill them? And why are you killing them? And if you didn't make a shvua and you excluded Esh, then you confused
trick the
everybody.
people.
It's making them think that they are part of the shvua. So you see, there was a shvua. That's the whole argument of Avraham Avinu. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers him, no, there was never a shvua when it came to fire on the Prat. That's the answer of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but that's not part of the argument. I have to take Mordechai to school.
Okay, go.
But